It's the MasterChef semi-finals. After an intense competition, only the 9 best cooks remain.
Can you believe it? Semi-finals already.
The cooks are getting better. The dishes are getting amazing. The challenges are about to get a lot tougher.
And they'll face some of their most daunting challenges.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
I think there'll be food out, but it's going to come with a huge slice of panic.
It's just mouthful after mouthful of just pure joy.
I can't believe I'm semi-finalist on MasterChef. Can I say that? I can now, can't I? Yeah.
It's got harder and harder as every round's gone on, and everyone's got so much better.
I think everyone's food is good. It's just who nails it.
No jagged edges anywhere, just perfection on the plate. That's the target.
You know what you really, really want, but you're just a little bit too scared to dream for it, really.
Our 9 best cooks all fighting it out because one of them is going to be our champion.
Welcome to MasterChef semi-final. You should feel very, very proud. Congratulations.
In front of you is your favourite ingredient. Your job is to elevate your favourite ingredient into an extraordinary plate of food. At the end of this, one of you is going home. Ladies and gentlemen, 90 minutes. Let's cook. Lorna has a great repertoire. She is full of enthusiasm for the food of Great Britain.
When I started off, it was just a bit of fun, and now it's just completely taken over my life.
What's your favourite ingredient?
My favourite ingredient is rhubarb. I love it. I love the taste, I love the smell, I love the texture. I have rhubarb everything in my house.
I love rhubarb. I love rhubarb. Yes. What are you making?
A kind of a set custard, and I'm serving that with a ginger crumble, some honey roasted rhubarb, a rhubarb and ginger puree, rhubarb jelly, some rhubarb crisps, and a rhubarb and custard shard.
I don't think I've ever seen rhubarb used in that many ways.
Lorna's using champagne rhubarb. It's very, very light and sometimes can be a bit too sharp. The thing is, you also don't want it too sweet. She's now got to elevate rhubarb and custard into something absolutely special. Steve is definitely our technical cook. The last round, that cod and the prawn sauce, oh my.
So, I'm doing rhubarb today. Not rhubarb, that's what she's doing. She's got it stuck in my head. I've been listening to her going on about it for the last 10 minutes.
No, you said it now. You have to cook rhubarb.
Yeah,
you have to do it now. Right, Steve, what's your favourite ingredient?
Beetroot.
Ah, why?
So, a few years ago, I was lucky enough to have a little vegetable patch in the back garden. I thought I'd try my hand at growing some veg, and actually the only thing I managed to grow was beetroot. I had just tons of the stuff. So I was making beetroot pickles, beetroot curries, beetroot risottos, beetroot, you name it, I made it with beetroot.
What Steve was talking about is making a risotto and adding to that a vegetable puree. He's making it with golden beetroot, he's serving it with roasted beetroot. He's got an apple jelly. I hope it's not too much like baby food.
30 minutes gone, 1 hour left. Giovanna loves the food of Italy, and that's the food she does best, John, cooking with Italian ingredients.
Getting everything right is the most important thing. You cannot mess up now. There is no room for error at all.
Giovanna, favourite ingredient?
Fennel.
Ooh.
I love fennel. My mum used to put it in loads of stuff. I put it in everything. I think it's really versatile, so I'm using the bulb, the stalks, the fronds, the seeds and fennel pollen today.
What's your dish?
So I'm making a fennel panna cotta. I'm making a fennel pollen tuile. I'm compressing the greener parts of the stalk, and I'm making a blackcurrant curd.
I can't wait to try a fennel panna cotta.
Good.
I hope your wobble is splendid.
I hope that too.
Fennel's a bulb and therefore it's a bit damp and very, very earthy. As a dessert, does it really work? I'm not quite sure.
I think I've definitely exceeded expectations. I've done a few things that the judges gave me great comments on, the last dish in particular. But then immediately your mind just goes into, well, how do I do better than that? This was actually really tricky. Like, I had 100 different ideas, and I ended up settling on lamb. I'm using the loin. I'm going to serve that with some shaved fennel, an aubergine caviar, and a mint yogurt. And I'm also going to do a lamb neck pie.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you make sure that's cooked properly?
Well, I have to cook it in an hour and a half, but I'm using a pressure cooker.
Pie top and bottom, or just pastry case top?
Top and bottom.
Get you. Are you going to get this done?
Hopefully, yeah. The biggest risk factor is probably the pie. That whole process will easily take an hour and 15 minutes. So I have very little margin for kind of error.
45 minutes left, please.
Jamie loves the classics from all around the world, and when he gets it right, it is absolutely brilliant.
Wine has been a huge part of my life over the last 10 years. If there was one thing that I was going to get to eat or drink for the rest of my life, Sauternes would be up there.
It's an expensive bottle, this. I've only ever had it to drink. I've never had a dessert made with it. What are you going to do?
I'm going to take the 4 flavours that you classically find in a Sauternes for me, which are apricot, orange, saffron and caramel, and I'm going to make an apricot tart tatin with an orange and saffron ice cream, a little orange and saffron cream on the side, and a poached apricot.
I share your love of this ingredient, and I keep my fingers crossed you get all that done.
Thank you.
Jamie has cleverly taken his favourite ingredient and then pulled it apart into flavour profiles. Very, very clever. Or it could be very, very dangerous. Because is he actually showcasing Sauternes, or is he just showcasing his skill?
I absolutely love Faye's style. I think her best food has come straight from her farmhouse kitchen, and I love it.
My favourite ingredient is pork. I'm very lucky enough we can produce a lot of our own pork at home.
Why do you love pork?
It's so versatile. You can have a bacon sandwich, you know, and anything in between.
How are you going to use the pork today?
I got a pork tenderloin, some little Scotch egg. I've got some little black pudding bonbons. I've got belly in the oven.
Mate, this is a real celebration of the pig, isn't it?
It certainly is, yeah. I'm confident in the flavours. I'm not confident about the presentation of it. But it is a nice dish, so we'll just have to wait and see. This is the most horrible job. Why did I decide to do this?
30 minutes left. Very few cooks I've seen are as exciting and creative as Lindsay. Her knowledge is incredible. She crams twice more cooking in than most contestants you'll ever meet.
I've certainly noticed that the critique from the judges has got a lot more severe. It was really hard to start with, and it's just getting harder.
My favourite ingredient is seaweed. I love, love, love Japanese food. Sushi and Japanese food is quite healthy. It's really good before you do a big gig and you've got to play lots of drums.
What's the dish you're making with seaweed?
Some seared tuna on a seaweed salad with courgette flowers stuffed with scallop crab mousse. I'm making like a sort of dashi broth, and I'm doing a little bit of crispy seaweed on top. Can I ask you, do you like Japanese food?
I love the food of Japan.
I think it could be really, really wonderful. But will there be enough seaweed amongst that broth? Is there enough seaweed on show?
You have 20 minutes left, all right, mate? 20 minutes. 20 minutes, please.
Salia has a style I've never seen before. That is the food of Pakistan and the food of North Africa coming together. And it is absolutely fascinating.
I already feel a lot more confident today because I've got my spice box. So as soon as I get my turmeric and my chilies, I'm like in heaven. I'm like, okay, now I'm sorted.
You've used so many ingredients in this competition already. I'm scared to ask you what your favourite one is.
Cauliflower is my favourite ingredient.
You're featuring cauliflower, yet you've got a mango on the go. What is your dish?
Basically a trio of cauliflower-based Indian canapes. One is a cauliflower paratha with a curry. The other is cauliflower rice with dal and a cauliflower pakora. And the third is a potato and cauliflower tikki, which is like a croquet. And I'm serving that with mango chutney and coriander chutney.
So again, we've got an array of stuff.
We have an array of stuff, but this time everything in one will match the other.
We've got a mixture and a feast of cauliflower spiced in many different ways. The thing for Saliha is we know she spices really well, we know she flavours really well, but how's it going to look on a plate? The last round, Brody showed us he's got technique, he's got style, and wow, has he got one amazing palate. But he needs to be able to bring a plate together.
I really like my dish today.
How are they? Actually, I haven't tried them.
I have confidence in it, but ultimately it's down to the judges, and you just got to hope that they concur.
Brody, you did it, mate, from the kidney curry to a semi-finalist.
I know, it's quite remarkable, really. How did that happen?
Brody, what's your favourite ingredient?
I chose ginger because it's sort of not synonymous with a savoury or a sweet dish. It's sort of a mainstay in my flat where I'm always using it for Indian curries, Thai curries, and I'm using it in a pudding today.
What's your dish?
I'm doing a ginger pudding with a butterscotch sauce, gingerbread ice cream, and a ginger crumb.
You had a dessert before with 4 bits and managed to get 3 of them up.
Yeah, and I'm doing 4 again, and I'm running out of time.
Are you repeating the same mistakes as last time?
Hopefully not. I thought I had a good amount of time, but I really need to get this on now.
I think he's got a great dessert ready to go. Really, nothing should go wrong with this, except for Brody. The problem is that Brody and timings are not very good friends.
You've only got 10 minutes left, guys.
As you can see, it's not quite ready, but that was just a test. You wouldn't want it overdone, though, would you?
I just like it done.
You have only 4 minutes. Time's up. Stop, please. Stop.
How was it? Doing, sweetheart? Well, I love your plate.
My things fell down. They were standing up and literally as he was like, time, they went like...
Faye's dish is pork loin, braised belly, black pudding bonbon, and Scotch egg, served with apple puree, cider and chorizo sauce, and charred baby leeks.
There. Look at that. Your fillet of pork, beautifully cooked, still pink. Your sauce is fantastic. The cooking's sound as a pound.
Your Scotch egg is meaty and spicy. The pork belly is absolutely divine. It's easy to see that you love to cook pork, because this is absolutely delicious.
Really nervous coming into the round, just because there's so much pressure now, but that couldn't have got any better for me. I'm really, really pleased.
Lindsay's dish is a seaweed salad with sesame-seared tuna, ikora gunkan or salmon roe sushi, a courgette flower stuffed with scallop mousse, and asparagus. Served with a dashi broth.
The tuna's nice, the seaweed salad's nice, but there's nothing wow in it. I feel as though it needs more layers, more contrast, both in texture and also in flavour.
I find myself craving a flavour explosion, whether that be heat or sharp pickling. I think it's very, very pleasant. I don't think it's setting the world on fire.
I don't think I've done amazingly well. They didn't say, oh, it's all perfect and stuff like that, but, you know, don't know.
Saliha has celebrated her favourite ingredient, cauliflower, by making a cauliflower stuffed paratha with benarasi, cauliflower and tamarind curry, cauliflower rice with dal and cauliflower fritters, and a cauliflower croquette with mango chutney and hot green relish.
Delicious. Every single tiny little bit is delicious. What I love about it is that the cauliflower is done in so many different ways, and every single bit has been matched with a sauce or flavouring absolutely perfectly. Saliha, magical.
Oh, thank you.
The flavours across this plate are delightful. They punch above their weight, yet the whole dish is so light and so delicate.
So excited. You feel like you're like a school kid who's done something really good and is given, like, a teacher gave them a sweetie or something.
Steve has made beetroot risotto with roasted baby beets, curd cheese, beet crisps, apple gel, and beetroot and balsamic puree.
Beetroot, goat's curd, radishes, apple gel, beetroot puree down the centre. I think it's absolutely delicious. My issue is the risotto. It has the texture of baby food, but you've got puree running through the rice, which means it's very, very loose. You know how to plate a dish, that's for sure. That looks amazing, absolutely amazing.
That earthy beetroot with the creamy goat's curd are absolutely delightful. That risotto is going to take some getting used to.
That's a bit mixed, wasn't it? Obviously, the risotto was meant to be the main bit, and they didn't really like that, so, you know, I'm a bit gutted.
Alison has cooked loin of lamb and a lamb neck pie, served with aubergine puree, roasted tomatoes, fennel shavings, olive puree, and mint yogurt.
I love the lamb, the olive, the fennel, aubergine puree, and that yogurt underneath is sensational. Why there's a pie on the side, I'm not quite sure. For me, that buttery puff pastry just doesn't work with the rest of the dish.
I think your pie is magnificent. I can't find anything on that plate to match it. I'm desperate to dip it into something, and everything I dip it into is too strong for it.
I just felt so obligated to have another bit of lamb on the plate in some form. Yeah, now looking back, it just seems silly, really. Yeah.
Giovanna has made a fennel panna cotta, compressed fennel, a fennel pollen tuile, a fennel crumb, and a blackcurrant curd.
The fennel as a dessert works, absolutely works. It's licorice, and with that real hit of blackcurrant, it's a lovely match.
I love that. So you sort of go from sort of grown-up Dutch salty licorice into absolute kid-tastic bag of sweets, suck your hand in, shove as many licorice all sorts in your mouth as you possibly can, all at once type treat.
Literally on top of the world to get those comments at this point.
Jamie has made an apricot tart tatin. An apricot poached in sauterne, a sauterne orange and saffron cream, an orange mascarpone ice cream, and a sauterne caramel sauce.
I don't pick up the flavour of that beautiful, famous dessert wine. However, I do pick up a fair slice of delicious throughout your dessert, that's for sure. It's almost deep with orange and caramel sauce.
This is not a Sauterne's dessert. The whole thing is a celebration of apricots and orange, but a very, very well-made dessert at that.
You know, they liked the dessert, they enjoyed that. So, yeah, I mean, that was the one positive I can take.
Brodie has made a ginger pudding with a ginger crumb, gingerbread ice cream, and butterscotch creme anglaise.
You set out to highlight ginger. You most certainly done that, mate. Most certainly done that. You made a good sponge. You made a very good custard. Your ice cream is absolutely divine.
I love the ferocity. And that, with the sticky, sweet custard across the top of it, is lovely. All I've wanted from you is a completed, coherent plate of food. And Brodie, that's it.
I've been looking to try and pull one of those out of the bag at some stage. Yeah, really pleased.
Lorna has made a dessert of set custard with rhubarb jelly, rhubarb gin and tonic gel, gin compressed rhubarb, a ginger and walnut crumble, and a rhubarb and custard shard.
Rhubarb is the devil's work when it comes to sweetening it properly, because every batch of rhubarb's going to be different. When you get the balance of sharp and sweet absolutely right, that just sends me into raptures of joy. And I find that in the gel, but I don't find that in the other bits of rhubarb.
I really love the promise of this dessert. I don't think it's quite there, but I'm really blown away that somebody like you is actually inventing stuff like this set little custard. As a rhubarb lover, I want more rhubarb, I want more juice, but I want more of that rhubarb.
Yeah, that was the best that I could have done. I couldn't have done any more than that. So you can't really ask for much more. If it wasn't good enough, then it wasn't good enough.
The start of our semi-finals and what food we got.
I tell you, I think had strong performances. Faye, with her pork, she cooked it 4 different ways, and every single way was beautiful. Giovanna did well. I mean, to turn a vegetable into a dessert, that's one thing. To turn it into a delicious dessert, well, that's just clever.
Then you've got to talk about Brodie, because he's the man who showcased ginger, and we loved it.
Today, I thought he got it spot on.
Sally, I celebrated the cauliflower. Gotta say, I loved that dish. I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
I didn't particularly care for Steve's risotto. Flavoured with the beetroot as it was, made it very sweet for me.
The bit where he celebrated the beetroot, I absolutely adored. I thought it was wonderful. Alison didn't quite hit the nail on the head today, and the reason I believe it didn't quite work was buttery puff pastry.
I don't think the pie matched the rest of the dish, but it still remained a very good pie. Jamie's an interesting case. He picked sauterne to highlight, and he made us apricot, orange and saffron. None of them tasted like that celebrated dessert wine he'd set out to copy.
Now, Lorna made us a set custard with rhubarb in many different ways. I wanted to be able to taste the real rhubarb, sweet, juicy, lovely, soft bits, as well as all the dainty bits around the plate. That's my issue with Lorna.
Lindsay's dish, I think, looked lovely, and there was definitely a lot of seaweed in there. It just tasted a little ordinary to me.
The flavour of Lindsay's dish was one which was just flat.
I knew this might be a bit of a sink or swim dish, but if I do go home today, at least I'm going home on food that I was happy with, and I'd certainly eat.
Hopefully I've done enough. And if I do go through, no more random pies.
Look, it tastes of apricots, it tastes of oranges, it tastes of saffron. They sort of used that as a negative. And that's exactly what I wanted the dish to taste of. So that's where the massive frustration comes for me.
There's a strong chance that I could be the one going today after that, but who knows?
It's very unsure. You know, obviously there was positives, and they did like quite a lot of the dish. They didn't like the other half. If that's the only dish they didn't like, then, you know, what am I going to do, you know?
We said at the start of today that we would be losing one of you. The contestant leaving the competition is Lindsay.
No worries. Oh, don't miss it. What we've been doing, so worlds away from anything I do in sort of my normal life. It's going to be weird to sort of go back to sort of normality.
And then there were 8.
Well done, honey.
I thought I was toast.
Final 8? What the hell? It just keeps getting more and more surreal.
Definitely a big relief. You know, that was so close.
An amazing day, an amazing day. Fingers crossed the next ones will be like this as well.
Next time, the semi-finals continue.
Got to make this ASAP.
As the final 8 contestants are split into teams.
Whoa!
Just trying to get this first lot of fish on.
Come on, Steve.
And one more amateur cook will be leaving the competition.